Welcome to the Microsoft Dynamics demonstration. This presentation is aimed at anybody that's new to Microsoft Dynamics and needs to get an understanding as to the core areas of the application, but also identify how they can navigate and search through the system successfully. Okay, so as part of this presentation, we're going to focus on three core sections. First up, we're going to look at the core areas of the application and see how they interact together. We're then going to open up the Outlook version of Dynamics CRM and look at how we can navigate and search throughout the application. We're then going to look at the individual records of accounts, contacts and opportunities and attach in some emails and some appointments. We'll then also look at the web version of Dynamics CRM so you can see how similar the interface is. Okay, so let's look at some of the core CRM areas. On the top right-hand side there, you can see that Dynamics CRM has an entity that we term a lead. Now, a lead is a pre-qualified sales inquiry. So whether that be from a list that you've imported from a marketing house, or maybe some business cards that you've picked up from an exhibition, we can store these into the lead area until we've had a chance to qualify them. So at a lead area, I can keep track of activities, notes and history, and classification information. Until I'm ready, I can then convert that into the main system. So the main system has four core areas. We have what we term an account, which is a company or an organization that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. So this doesn't have to be a prospect. It could be a customer, a supplier, or even a competitor. But at account level, I can see everything to do with that account. I have a complete overview of all notes and histories, activities, any sales information, whether it be opportunities or even cases or complaints or issues that have happened against that particular account. What I then have the option to do is drill down to certain areas to just see individual pieces of information. So typically within an organization, we speak to more than one person. So within Dynamics CRM, we have the ability to keep track of contacts, and we can store as many contacts as we wish connected back to an account. Now at contact level, I can see everything to do with that individual contact. So any notes and histories, activities, or maybe even marketing classification information. Contacts don't have to be connected to accounts, so if we are dealing with contacts that aren't connected to companies, I can still keep track of those within Dynamics CRM. Now, typically within an organisation, we'd like to sell to a company our products and services. So within Dynamics CRM, we can keep track of as many opportunities as we wish, connected back to our accounts and to our contacts. Within an opportunity, I can keep track of forecasting information, keep track of the products and services I'm hoping to sell, and also attach in items such as workflow, so we can put a checklist to guide our salespeople through the steps and stages that we need to do to close that opportunity. Once we've got that account as a customer, we may also need to keep track of any cases or complaints or issues that are associated to that particular account. We can store these in the case area and again fire off some workflow if we need to, fire off any escalations and keep track of any activities and notes and history. Now each of these records can be searched on, and any fields that we keep track in here can be identified and searched and segmented within a dynamic or even a static list. We can also then place these in as part of a marketing campaign. So this could be a quick campaign where we're just firing off one type of action, or this could be a full campaign where we're keeping track of budgets, steps and stages, planning tasks, and then analysing all those campaign responses. Now, Dynamics CRM can be accessed via 3 points. The first is via the Outlook client as it's embedded within it. The second is via the web client, so we can even access this on any website location. And finally, we could also access this through a mobile client. Okay, so let's take a look at the application. So I'm within the Outlook client, and you can see that Dynamics CRM has been embedded within this particular application. So at the top of the screen, you'll see that there's an additional toolbar that's been added into Outlook. And you can see from within here, I can create new activities, whether they be tasks, phone calls, and these will be attached into the Outlook diary. And also create new records, whether they be accounts, contacts, leads, opportunities. And you can see there's a whole host of others, including cases at the bottom there. In the toolbar, I've also got the ability to track any emails back into CRM, so they've got an audit history, and also link them to particular records, which we'll come back to later. Finally, if I want to do an advanced find and search and identify a group of records, maybe for a marketing campaign, I can even do that from within the Outlook client. Finally, if I get stuck, lost or confused, I can hit the help icon to give me some certain help tips and tricks. Now on the left hand side you can see we've got our standard folder structure, but what you can also see is we've got some folders that relate back to Dynamics CRM. Now if I can click on one of these folders that are broken down by role, so I'm going to click into the sales area, you can see I've got sales options that appear in the detail area on the right. I could also open up the folder structure and identify the folders, so you can see I've got accounts in there, contacts, and select on those and you'll see it'll change the detail view on the right hand side. So what you can see in here is I'm looking at a list of accounts, and I can even sort by columns if I wish to identify those, and you'll see that there's even a toolbar above if I want to export them to Excel, maybe mail merge them to Word, pull out a report, or even drill down these using the view area on the right hand side. So if I didn't want to see a list of all of my accounts, I could drill these down to a certain subsection that has either been created by the system or by myself. Now on the top left hand side there, I can do a quick search. So if I know I'm looking for a particular record, I can type in the certain letters and then hit the search item to then identify that record. I can clear that search by hitting the same icon on the right hand side there to return back to the list view. At the bottom you can see I've also got the address bar, so if I select on T, it'll also return me all the records that begin with the letter T. If I hit all, it'll take me straight back. So very simple and very easy to use. So I'm actually going to look at a particular account record, so I'm going to select on that account record and double click. This will open up the account detail view, and you can see that the view is similar in this record as it is to any other entity. On the left hand side you can see we have a menu option that allows me to identify any records that are relating to Tailspin toys. So you can see I'm clicked on the information area, and you'll see a series of tabs that are related to information appear on the right hand side. I can then click into these to view further information. So I'm going to click on the General tab, and you'll see that some of the fields in there have got a red asterisk next to them. These indicate a mandatory field, so we can force this so a user fills them in. I can also have lookup fields that allow me to look up certain records, or even pick lists or drop downs which allow me to select from certain items to eliminate any spelling errors. At the top there you can see I've also got the website location, which allows me to link through to a website, and by clicking on that hyperlink it will take me straight there. What I've also got to the right hand side, and this is available on any entity, is the ability to search using the form assistant. So if I didn't want to pop up screens, I could access the pop-up information from the form assistant to the right hand side. So I'm just going to minimize that view, but I know it's always there if I need it. Okay, so at the top here you can see we've also got an additional toolbar, so I can save records, save and close, even create new ones, send emails, or even do follow-up activities. The Actions menu bar gives me a whole host of additional options, so I can even add this into a marketing list or create further activities from here, should I so wish. Now on the left hand side, if we go back to that menu bar on the left, you can see if I drill down I can view more addresses, activities, histories, even view any accounts that related back to this particular organisation. Now I'm going to select on the contact area, and you'll see that a contact list view will appear on the right hand side. So these are all the people that are associated to Tailspin toys. If I select on a particular contact and double click, I can then view in and view that individual. So you can see here I'm looking at a contact record that's related to Tailspin toys, and the layout is very similar. We've still got the menu bar on the left, and we've still got the toolbar at the top, and finally the tabs underneath. All the records or all the information in here are only related to the contact that I've selected on. Once I'm happy with that information, I can then select Save and Close, and it takes me back to the account view and back to the list area, where I can create new contacts that are related to Tailspin, or even add in existing ones from this list. On the left hand side there you can see that I've got additional sections that are actually broken down by role: sales, service and marketing. So in the sales area, I've actually got an entity called opportunities. So this is where I can see all the sales deals that are related to Tailspin Toys. So I'm going to double click into one of these opportunities and just open that up just to show you that this has a very similar view to the contacts and accounts area. You still have the menu bar on the left hand side where we can attach in products and additional activity information, the tabs at the top, and even the form assistant is available should I so need it. So I'm going to click into workflows and you can see that we've actually got a workflow attached into this particular opportunity. And I can actually drill in and view that workflow and see the steps and stages that have been applied. Incidentally, workflow can be applied to any entity on the system to guide somebody through certain steps and stages. Once I'm happy with that, I've closed my opportunity. I can then actually drill in and even view customer service queries via a case. The view is very similar, so I won't open up this view. I'm just going to save and close that particular account. It'll take me back to my list view. And then I'm going to look at how we can start to attach in records to this particular information. So I'm going to go to my inbox and view that I've got an email that's come in from one of my contacts at Tailspin Toys. Now what I could do is select on that particular email and track it back into CRM and set the regarding without even opening the email. However, if I do open the email, I've got the same user options available in the ribbon at the top of the screen. So what I'm going to do is actually track that email back into CRM so it goes in as a history item for everybody to be able to see. I can then also use the set regarding options to even search and actually attach it to an individual entity. So I know this email is related back to that opportunity that we were just in. So I'm going to hit the look for option and actually attach that into that particular opportunity. You can see in that list I could link it to another record if I wished. So I've selected on opportunity and you can see these are all the opportunities that are available to me. So I'm going to select on that CRM opportunity and select OK. This email has now been attached in as a history item to that particular opportunity. And you'll see we've activated some additional options in the ribbon at the top. And if I hit view regarding, it should open up the opportunity that is now related to that email. If I open up that email and go to the menu bar on the left and look into the history, I should see a copy of that email has now been stored, each date and time stamped. If I double click into that email and open it up, you can see all the information that was tracked has now been placed in there for everybody to see. Okay, so I've now closed out of that email and gone back to my main screen. And you can see I can do exactly the same to appointments. So if I'm creating in new appointments, what I can do is if I want to schedule an appointment maybe in for Monday with that particular contact record, I can drag and drop and create my appointment just as I do every day within Outlook. But what you'll see in the ribbon at the top of the screen is I still have the ability to track that back into CRM if I wish. What I've also got is the ability to invite attendees. So if I open up the to record, you can see in the address book on the right hand side, I've got my standard address book. But if I hit the drop down, you can see I've also got the option to select certain CRM accounts, contacts, and even other users. So I'm going to select on CRM contacts, and you can see there's my contact at the top there, and I can add them in as an attendee. By selecting OK, they've then been associated to that particular record. I can then put in my subject information. You can see this is going to be a meeting and it's going to be in London. I can then put in any further details I wish at the bottom of the screen there. So I'm happy with that appointment. I'm now going to go back up to my Outlook ribbon and hit track in CRM. And also hit set regarding, but you can see because I've already selected the opportunity in the past, it's remembered that so I can select it again. This means I don't have to go searching for it if I've already selected it in the past. So I'm now going to hit send and send that appointment out, and you'll see it's gone into my Outlook calendar. If I double click back into that appointment and hit view regarding, it'll take me back to that opportunity record that we were just in, and I'd expect to see in the activities area a copy of that appointment stored in date and time stamped for everybody to see. There it is there at the top. Great, so I'm happy with that. I'm just going to hit save and close and just close out of my appointment and go back to my main screen and go back to my calendar. So if I now go back into Dynamics CRM through the folder options and look at my accounts in the list view area, I can then identify each of my individual records and even create new ones from the toolbar at the top there. So should I need to create a new record, all I need to do is hit the new button in the top left hand side, and I've then got a clear form where I can start to add in my account information. Obviously the items with the red asterisks are the mandatory fields that I must fill in. At the top toolbar, I've then got three options: the ability to save and close, or even hit save and new should I wish to create multiple records at once without having to close out of the form. So I'm just going to navigate out of the page, but you can see it's very quick and easy to create new records. Once I've got those records created into the system, what I can also do is view a dashboard and identify how my accounts are doing, what opportunities I've got in my pipeline. And this is using Dundas, using SharePoint as well, so I can create web parts that identify certain sales information, marketing, or even service. These are also hyperlinks, so if I click on one of those particular graphs, it'll take me through and view a list of those opportunities that are relating to that particular sales funnel. Okay, so what we're going to look at next is the web client, so you can see how similar the interface is. You can see when I go into the web client, it's exactly the same in terms of a toolbar at the top of the screen where I can create new activities and new records, or even conduct an advanced find. You've still got the menu bar on the left hand side which shows you your additional options, and at the bottom, instead of a folder structure, you can see buttons there that relate to the individual roles that a user may have. If I click into sales, you can see it shows me in the menu options. I'm now back to that dashboard that I was just looking at, but I've also got the ability to click into other entities. So if I click back into opportunities, you can see a list of all of my open opportunities. I can then double click into that particular opportunity to view further details. You'll see the opportunity view is exactly the same as the one that we saw within the Outlook client. If I click into something like the Team tab and something that you've got within the Outlook and the web client, you can see with Office Communication Server integrated, there's a dot that's to the left hand side of the contact names, which allows me to view my site information, even fire off a phone call, or even send an instant message to that particular person if they're online, so they can then receive and send that back instantly. This is an additional option that can be applied into Dynamics CRM. Great, so what you've seen there is just a flavour of what Microsoft Dynamics can really do. And hopefully you've seen that we try to utilise the natural user experience for each of your individuals by accessing the application from within Microsoft Outlook or via a web browser. Either way, the look and feel is exactly the same, and this should reduce training time because the user's already familiar with those environments. Each screen is very easy to use and very intuitive, but don't forget each screen is also very flexible, so if you need to change or update any of those fields at any point, you don't need to be a technical wizard in order to do that. We also try to enhance team communication by utilising areas such as OCS and SharePoint, so we can encourage our departments to intermingle and also to encourage cross-selling opportunities. Thanks very much for taking the time to have a look at this navigation video. Hopefully you've got an idea of exactly what we can do with Microsoft Dynamics CRM.